Founded over 4,000 years ago, China is a country rich in culture and rooted in tradition. In the early years, China was a collection of primitive tribes living in the fertile Huanghe River Valley, the land surrounding the Yellow and Yangtze rivers. Sustenance came from farming, so when the rivers overflowed, a common occurrence, the catastrophe could upset entire villages. China, geographically isolated by the Pacific Ocean, the Taklamakan and Gobi deserts, and the Himalayan mountains, was naturally an independent nation. Its citizens believed in a natural divinity and supremacy and held its culture above others. The Zhou was the first dynasty, ruling from 2070 BC to 1600 BC. Several dynasties succeeded them, claiming the mandate of heaven, or the will of God, to be the controlling force behind the monarchical changes.
Through the centuries, China has transitioned from an individually focused agrarian society to feudal society, and most recently to a communist nation known as the People's Republic of China. The leader today is President Xi Jinping, who is working to combat the overwhelming amount of government scandal and corruption. He has also eased the one-child policy to encourage more offspring due to the rapidly aging population and shrinking labor force. In 2008, China hosted the Summer Olympic Games. It wowed the world with its opening ceremony and proved itself as a modern powerhouse.
Despite the national struggles, turmoil, political unrest, and human injustices visible throughout the nation's history, according to this year's IMF research, China is successful in that it boasts the largest economy, having finally surpassed the United States. Even with the government's tight hold on the nation's financial system, China has managed to clock in a GDP of $13.4 trillion. However, because of the unequal power distributions, the GDP per capita is relatively low. Unlike in the past when China was isolated and traded with only the few merchants who entered the country via the Silk Road, China today has large-name trading partners such as the US, Japan, South Korea, and the European Union. Just as China takes the lead economically, it has the greatest population at 1.4 billion people. Most of these people speak Mandarin and identify as Han Chinese. And although the official national religion is atheism, many Chinese continue to practice Buddhism, Confucianism, and Taoism. While the country has advanced significantly since its early tribal days, the social isolation and the government's control and restrictions on personal freedom have created a society rooted in convention. China is modern and ambitious, but it still holds a deep regard for its traditions and history.
Individualism is the degree of the interdependence a society maintains among its members. China is a highly collectivistic culture where people act in the interests of the group and not as individuals. Employees act in interest of their in-group over themselves and may be hostile to anyone not included in the in-groups. Employee commitment to an organization is low, but their loyalty to its people is strong. Personal relationships are more important over the company and tasks at hand. Family and friends also get preferential treatment. Collectivism allows society to be divided into in and out groups. It also impacts the point of oneself being part of a community and how everyone is very dependent upon each other. Relationships in organizational settings are also emphasized. There are group goals set instead of individual goals. The collectivistic nature of the Chinese people places the welfare of the group before individuals. The group is also responsible for the well-being of its members and expected to distribute any rewards fairly. People then remain loyal to the status of this group.
As shown on the right, China has 80% on power distance. Power distance is the extent to which the less powerful members of institutions and organizations within a country expect and accept that power is distributed unequally. Chinese like to be told what to do, and class divisions like to be seen as natural. A lot of the communications are given from the top down, and there is a high dependence on supervisors. High power distance creates a structured hierarchy that determines how people are introduced and how people greet at meetings first. The highest level employee in the room must be approached first. Follow the leader mentality means that although one might not agree with his or her boss, the employee still has to follow their orders. Direct communication between managers and subordinates are limited.
As shown on the right, China has an 87% on pragmatism. Pragmatism is how every society has to maintain some links with its own past while dealing with the challenges of the present and future, and societies prioritize these two existential goals differently. China is very future-oriented, and they tend to set a lot of long-term goals. They are very persistent, but they delay gratification.
Chinese business people take time to make decisions and think in depth about the long-term implications of each choice. Meetings must also be scheduled in advance because walk-ins are usually seen as unwelcome. Although the Chinese take their time when it comes to making organizational decisions, they are quick to adapt to cultural differences if it means doing business.
China is high context, meaning their language is subtle. When Chinese talk, although they may say one thing, they could really mean another. Context is very important for the Chinese, and everything has a meaning. In result of the huge importance of context, listening and interpreting is accurately.
China's high power distance in the workplace greatly impacts how an employee gives feedback to their boss. Due to the differences in class between managers and employees, advice or suggestions given from an employee to a higher ranking person may not be taken seriously, if even taken at all. One must be careful not to disrespect their manager by offering different ways to operate, as offense might be taken at this. Higher ranking individuals are viewed as more intelligent than lower level employees, even this is not a reality. As a foreigner, it is important to take into account the difference in power distance when deciding whether or not to give negative feedback to your boss. Giving positive feedback would not be taken in an offensive way, but it is still important to deliver this as a respectful manner during a scheduled meeting.
In China, motivating fellow employees is done more by setting good examples and showing dedication to the group than intrinsically trying to motivate. Offering time off, money, or other incentives is not the proper way to motivate your employees as a manager. It will not be taken while in Chinese business. The Chinese are very collectivistic, and relationships in the workplace between coworkers and respect for each other is what truly motivates the Chinese to work hard.
Patty, I'm Matt. Nice to meet you. And this is my manager, Mark.
Nice to meet you, Mark.
Has she ever worked in China before? I mean, I've never had an assistant introduce themselves before me. I'm a manager.
Why did his assistant call me Patty? Does she know who I am? Come in.
CEO Hoban, Mark Fullen.
Nice to meet you.
This is my assistant.
Not Noble.
Nice to meet you.
By the way, here are my business cards.
Thank you.
That was so rude that Steph didn't give me the card first.
My assistant, stupid American, just shoved it in her pocket.
By the way, here are my business cards.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Min,
Hey, how are you?
I'm really busy right now.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I'll just take a couple minutes. I just want to talk to you about a couple of things.
Okay, I guess.
So, like, I was just wondering about our new...
Clearly I was busy. What kind of person just shows up unannounced? Min.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, right on time. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you for emailing me in advance.
No problem. I was just coming to talk to you about... Hey team, so I was just looking over a couple of notes last night and like I found a new idea that we should implement and I think we need to discuss it and make our decision today.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know, I think we need some time to think about it. No patience.
Go.
Hey guys, so I think this new plan that's on number 3 on our pages, I think that's great that we should try and implement it. Do you guys think we could like make our decision within like a week or something?
Yeah.
Sounds great, gives me some time to think about it.
Cool.
Alright guys, I have a new project for you. I'm gonna need you guys to stay late as a group and work on it tonight.
Yeah,
Sounds great, boss.
Tonight I kind of have plans.
She let us down. We were supposed to be a team.
I guess team means nothing in America.
One.
Alright guys, I have a new project I'm gonna need you to work on tonight and stay late.
Yeah, sure.
No problem.
Of course.
Awesome.